If you got $1 million nest egg, and God bless you if you do, a 1% advisor's fee can mean tens of thousands of dollars a year, every year. Today, I'm going to show you the simplest math in retirement and the cockpit checklist that keeps you from stepping into a lifetime of fee traps. Just a quick disclaimer, this is educational, not personal financial advice. Talk to a qualified professional before making changes. And before we begin, incentives matter. A lot of voices in this space have a business mode tied directly to getting clients. I don't. I'm not taking clients and I'm not selling product. So today, we're just going to run the numbers, show you my sources, and use a simple checklist you can take into any advisor's meeting. Now, let me tell you why I decided to make this particular video. A buddy of mine, a very good friend I've known for decades. He worked his entire life. He saved well and he saved hard. And suddenly he's staring at a portfolio bigger than anything he ever imagined. And one day he confided in me and he goes, Guy, I'm terrified I'm going to screw this up. He wasn't looking for a flashy lifestyle. He was looking for something he could sleep at night with. He did what a lot of normal people do. He handed it to a financial advisor and basically said, you fly my airplane. And of course, I'm not here to shame him. I would never do that to a good friend or anyone in that matter. That decision that he made is quite understandable. And here's the irony. This guy was a pilot for a major airline, one of the biggest in the world. He was smart enough to master a multi-million-dollar airplane. He was smart enough to train, test, recertify yearly. He did this for decades. He was smart enough to fly thousands of people safely through all different types of situations. But when it comes to the fortune he built over a lifetime, he looks at it and says, I'm not smart enough to fly this. I'm not telling this story as proof of anything. I'm telling it because it shows how even very capable people can feel overwhelmed at times when the rules are unclear and the stakes, well, they're very high. And this is exactly why I created this channel, to answer some of those questions. It's questions I have myself, and it's forced me to dig deep to find the answers. Let's replace emotion with math and a checklist. As a naval aviator, we had a golden rule of the skies that saved lives in emergencies. And it saved my hide on more than one occasion. And it was 3 simple words, but 3 very powerful words. Aviate, navigate, communicate. And it's not a slogan. Each word has a job. Aviate means stay in control first. In retirement, aviate means don't panic. Don't make sudden moves. Don't buy complicated products because you're scared. Stay in control long enough to think clearly. As an aside, a great Marine once told me the first thing that I should do in any emergency in that beautiful C-130 was take a deep breath. Navigate means after you stabilize, you figure out what the airplane is doing. And you know where you are, not where you think you are. In money terms, that means don't just know your portfolio balance. Know your positions on the map. What is your cash flow needs? Your tax situation? Your withdrawal rates? Do you follow the 4% rule? Your Social Security plan? Your Medicare and IRMA exposure? And your time horizon? And communicate means you know where to go for help. And you execute the plan you train for. We call that muscle memory. In retirement, communicate means to know which professional to call for which mission. And you have a script for an advisor's conversation. Do you have a tax question? Call a tax pro. Do you have an estate issue? Of course, reach out to an estate attorney. How about Medicare and IRMA? They're specialists for that too. And if you're talking to an advisor, you don't talk feelings first. You talk numbers first. All in costs in dollars and deliverables. Now let's do the math, because math removes emotion. Let's define the thing before we argue about it. Many advisors charge a percentage of your assets. That's called an AUM fee, assets under management. The number you hear all the time is 1%. Now that can range up to 2%. I have seen it. Vanguard's got a little bit lower fee than that. If you ask 100 people what a financial advisor is, Well, you'd probably get 100 different answers because it's not just one job. It's a whole range of roles. Some are true fiduciary planners, certified financial planners. Some are investment managers. Some are brokers. Some are insurance salespeople. Some do tax planning. Some don't. Some are paid hourly. Some are paid by assets. Some are paid commissions. Sometimes it's a mix of all of those items. And here's why that matters. If you don't know what kind of advisor you're dealing with, you can't judge whether the fee makes sense. So in this episode, I'm going to stop using the vague label advisor, and I'm going to force clarity with one question. What exactly do you do for me? And what do you charge? All in dollars. Now here's the checklist. I'm not saying that nobody is worth paying. I'm saying if you don't understand the math, you can't make a clean decision. And here's what 1% actually means. If you have $500,000, 1% is $5,000 per year. If you have $1 million, 1% is $10,000 a year. And that is just the advisor fee. That's before fund expenses underneath, before platform or wrap fees, before trading costs. Now multiply it by time. 10 grand a year for 20 years is $200,000. For 30 years, it's $300,000. And that's the conservative version, folks, because it ignores compounding. What did Einstein say about compounding? What wonder of the world was that? Here's why this hits harder after age 50. Retirement is when you switch from growing that pile to living off of that pile. Your margin for permanent cost gets smaller. If you're withdrawing 4% a year and you're also paying 1% a year, the fee is not 1%. It's a chunk of your retirement paycheck. Now let's label a tactic you've felt before, even if you've never labeled it. Obfuscation. And what does it mean? Unnecessary complexity, jargon, charts, and strategy speak. That makes it hard to compare options. When something is complicated, the human brain assumes complicated means sophisticated and stops asking the only question that really matters. What do you own? What does it cost? And who gets paid and what? 3 places this shows up. Fee stacking, where you pay an advisor fee plus fund cost plus platform fees. Foggy reporting, where results are presented in ways you can't really benchmark. And products with moving parts. For example, riders, caps, spreads, surrender fees. Here's my rule. If it can't be explained clearly, you don't own it. It owns you. When someone gets paid more because your account is bigger, incentives can drift. And you see an extreme version in hedge funds, what they call 220, 2% every year plus a cut of the profits. Different world, same lesson. Fee structures shape behavior. Now for the communicate. This is the necessary muscle memory script you need to use when you're calm, so you don't get talked into decisions when you're scared. Don't think emotionally and let that little brain do the thinking for that big brain. Here's your cockpit checklist. Ask these questions and you'll spot the fee trap fast. Are you a fiduciary at all times? Second, what is my all-in cost in dollars? Advisor fee, funds, platform fees, everything. Third, do you receive commissions or incentives on products? That's a yes or no answer. Fourth, what services do I get every year for that fee? Tax planning, Roth conversions, RMD strategy, estate coordination, etc., etc. Fifth, show performance net of all fees versus a simple benchmark. And sixth, if I leave, are there penalties? Are there lockup fees, surrender charges? And seventh, what I call the unbundle test. This one really cuts through the fog. If I moved into a low-cost index fund set tomorrow, what would you still do for me? And what would you charge? If they hesitate on any of those questions, don't argue, just make a mental note of it. Now let's be clear. There are times paying for help is absolutely worth it, and I fully acknowledge that. Tax planning, Roth conversions, RMD sequencing, Social Security timing, Medicare and IRMA, pension elections, estate coordination, long-term care decisions. But a lot of retirees aren't buying that product. What they're buying is a basic portfolio management and paying a percentage of that management from their entire nest egg for a year and every year after that. My favorite model is a la carte. Buy what you need when you need it. Think specialist, not parasitic drag. I pay for deliverables. In that way, you can keep the portfolio simple. And you stop paying a lifetime percentage fee for work you don't need every year. Aviate. Stay in control. Navigate. Know where you are. Communicate. Call the right help and use that checklist. My goal isn't to make you anti-advisor. It's to make you fee literate. You work decades to build your retirement portfolio. Don't hand over a percentage of it forever without understanding exactly what you're buying in dollars and what you get for it. In the comments section below, answer one question for me. Do you know your all-in annual fee in dollars? Yes or no? And if you want the next step, watch the next video right here. It plugs directly into the Navigate part of retirement planning. Thanks for flying with me. See you in the next one. And remember, health is wealth and wealth is freedom. Take care.